Sorry I missed devotionals. Yesterday morning I was taking Jean to the airport, and by the time I got back, it was time for school. And so I just didn't make it. So this Friday is a conclusion. So it's important to note from 1 Corinthians 12 that this, like I said earlier, this begins an entire discussion that continues through chapter 14 about spiritual gifts. And the Greek there for spiritual gifts it means giftedness that comes from the Holy Spirit. And one of the chief concerns was the issue of speaking in tongues. And so we'll be talking about that extensively, but not today. But today, here's the thing. Presumably, there had been those speaking in tongues who had been interpreted and heard to say, Jesus is accursed, right? Which is why in this particular English translation, and I think they're right, they put that in quotes. And supposedly they were speaking by the Holy Spirit. And Paul says, therefore I want you to understand that no one speaking in the Spirit of God says, Jesus is accursed. But then he goes on to say something very important. And no one can say, Jesus is Lord, except in the Holy Spirit. So, without ecstatic speech, without some super emotional vibrancy or something like that, you and I can simply, calmly, soberly read the Bible, see what it says, and say, Jesus is Lord. And from the heart, we believe that. And Paul says, no one can actually say that except in the Holy Spirit. You see the contrast? The contrast is with those who would have this ecstatic, emotional vibrancy and say something like, Jesus is accursed. And Paul says, actually, if you want to look for where the work of the Holy Spirit is, it's found in the person who truly confesses with the mouth and believes in the heart, Jesus is Lord. When we do that, it is in the Holy Spirit.